Warning: all scenes in this video are fictional and use props or special effects. No real persons were harmed in the making of this video. Viewer discretion advised. They walked among us, passed strangers on sidewalks, rode the same trains, bought coffee, paid with cash, then vanished into the shadows, leaving only blood, mystery, and a trail of unanswered questions. These aren't just stories. These are the true nightmares that haunted entire cities. Killers who slipped through the cracks of justice and were never brought to light. Today, we're diving deep into the most chilling, unsolved cases of all time. These are the top 5 serial killers who were never caught. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on that bell for more facts, mystery, and everything in between, right here on With Ya Boy, Top 5 Guy. Number 5. The Servant Girl Annihilator. Before Jack the Ripper gripped London in terror, another phantom stalked the night. This one in Austin, Texas, back in the 1880s. The Servant Girl Annihilator, a name coined decades later, targeted women, mostly African-American housemaids, with methodical brutality. Between 1884 and 1885, 8 victims were killed. Some in their own beds, others dragged outside, mutilated beyond recognition. He, or possibly they, left no fingerprints, no footprints, and no motive. Victims were found with sharp objects embedded in their skulls, or hacked to pieces with axes. Some were arranged post-mortem in chilling poses. The city was paralyzed. People stopped sleeping at night, families moved out. Even the press declared Austin a place haunted by midnight assassins. Theories ranged from a deranged local to an early version of Jack the Ripper himself. Some suggesting the killer may have moved from Austin to London after 1885. Despite hundreds of interviews and even vigilante groups forming in desperation, the killer disappeared just as suddenly as he came. A phantom before the age of forensics. His legacy lives on in one of the first recorded serial killings in American history. Number 4. The Zodiac Killer. The cipher-writing enigma that taunted the world. Between 1968 and 1969, Northern California was under siege from a man who didn't just kill, he broadcasted his crimes. The Zodiac Killer, named after the cryptic symbols he used to sign letters, is known to have murdered at least 5 people, but claimed to have killed 37. He attacked couples parked in remote areas, shooting and stabbing with cold efficiency, then bragged to newspapers with eerie precision. His letters included ciphers that experts and amateurs tried to crack for decades. One cipher, a 340-character puzzle, wasn't solved until 2020, over 50 years later. It revealed chilling lines like, "I am not afraid of the gas chamber." One of his most terrifying acts? The Lake Berryessa attack. He approached 2 students in broad daylight, wore a black executioner's hood with a white zodiac symbol on the chest, tied them up, and stabbed them repeatedly before leaving the scene. The male victim survived long enough to describe him, but the image only deepened the legend. Despite countless suspects over the decades, including schoolteachers, military veterans, and even a man who called into a TV show claiming to be the Zodiac, no arrest has ever been made. Today, he remains one of the most infamous and terrifying ghosts in the history of American crime. Number 3. The Long Island Serial Killer. Lisk. Bodies buried along the desolate stretch of Ocean Parkway. Shallow graves, burlap sacks, and a killer who may have hunted for decades without being noticed. The Long Island serial killer, also known as Lisk or the Gilgo Beach Killer, shocked the world when, in 2010, police searching for a missing escort found multiple remains instead. By 2011, 10 bodies had been discovered, mostly young women in the sex trade, some missing for years. One victim was just a toddler, another was a man. The remains stretched across Suffolk and Nassau County, with some scattered in pieces between both. The brutality wasn't just in the murder, it was in the way he erased them from the world. The killer was methodical. He used burner phones, disguised his voice, lured women using Craigslist ads, then vanished into anonymity. Years passed. Families begged for justice. And then, in 2023, a shocking twist. Rex Heuermann, an architect living in Massapequa Park, was arrested for the murders of 3 women. But the case didn't end there. Police suspect there may be more victims, more crimes, and possibly more perpetrators. Was he the only one? Or just a convenient scapegoat in a web of cover-ups and silence? Questions still remain. Was Rex Heuermann the only killer? Or has the real Long Island serial killer never been caught at all? That question still haunts detectives to this day. Number 2. Jack the Ripper. Fog-drenched streets, Victorian lanterns, screams in the night. The most iconic serial killer in world history was never identified. Jack the Ripper terrorized the Whitechapel district of London in 1888, targeting women, mostly prostitutes, and butchering them in ways that stunned even hardened detectives. His known victims: Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly, were all found with throats slashed and organs removed. The precision of his cuts led some to believe he had surgical training, but the real terror wasn't just the murder, it was the letters. He sent taunting notes to the press, some signed "From Hell," and even mailed half a human kidney. The killings sparked a media frenzy, fueled anti-immigrant tensions, and birthed a legend that would endure for over a century. Suspects ranged from doctors and butchers to artists and royalty. Even Prince Albert was once whispered about. Yet despite thousands of leads and modern DNA analysis, no one has ever been definitively named. Number 1. The Highway of Tears Killers. Stretching through British Columbia's dense forests is a 450-mile road known as Highway 16. For decades, Indigenous women and girls have vanished along this stretch, hitchhiking, walking, simply trying to get home, then never seen again. It's called the Highway of Tears, and it may be the hunting ground of one or more serial killers. Since the 1970s, over 40 women have disappeared or been found murdered along the highway, many of them from First Nations communities. The haunting part? Some of the cases appear linked. Similar victim profiles, similar locations, similar silences from law enforcement. While a few suspects have been arrested in isolated cases, like Bobby Jack Fowler, none have been definitively tied to the full pattern of murders. Activists argue systemic racism and indifference contributed to decades of stalled investigations. Families of the missing say they were ignored, their daughters forgotten. The landscape is haunting: towering trees, isolated towns, and a silence that stretches for miles. Whoever is responsible, or was, operated in the shadows. perhaps using the loneliness of the road as their weapon. To this day, new cases still emerge, posters still go up, and the mystery of the Highway of Tears continues to claim lives and leave questions behind. Some monsters wear masks, others wear smiles, but the ones that haunt us the most are the ones we never see. From the blood-soaked alleys of Victorian London to the forgotten highways of Canada, these killers became legends, not because of what we know, but because of what we never found. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And turn on that bell for more facts, mystery, and everything in between. Right here on With Ya Boy Top 5 Guy. Until next time, love life and discover more. If you liked this video, check out Top 5 Richest Criminals of All Time.